Welcome back to Satisfactory in our coal power plant, which is working very, very well, powering all of our base, and including over here as well. So I've got these splitters, if you remember last episode, I've put in. Now, coming out of these splitters, I'm currently putting them into a box, because we need the coal for other purposes. So you'll see, I'm basically making sure that the coal power plants have a chance to take the coal first before any other production happens. Just like you would in Factorio, make sure that your coal power plants get resources that way. Now, the other way we could actually do it is just split it off before we get to the coal power plants. I think I will do that eventually because we probably want more coal coming in as just a matter of course. But we'll get to that soon enough. Why are we getting coal, or why am I boxing coal up? Well, because for the moment, I just want to be able to make stuff manually. And today is all going to be all about steel, which is the next step up from basically once you get your coal power plant. Steel is something you research back at your hub, and I have already done that just so that you've seen that process before. It just needs some modular iron frames and some rotors, which we already make. The reason I put the coal generator, I didn't really mention this last episode, but the reason I put the coal generator here, as opposed to back over at the base or down at the coal, I was getting annoyed by just basically having to trek out there for one thing. But the other thing is that here in this little valley, just next to where our base is, there are 4 spots of iron. Now, this iron isn't great, it's not pure iron, and I haven't really mentioned this before, but depending on what these spots are, whether they're impure or pure, I think there's another type as well, depends on how much iron your miners can extract from them. So on an impure source, they can only extract 30 a minute, whereas the ones near our base are 60 a minute because just the better spots. However, we've got 4 of them here, so that's the same as 2 near the base, so I'm not too terribly concerned. We just need spending a bit more power to actually produce more Miner Mark 1s. So we've got a Miner Mark 1 here, and it is happily chewing up stuff to produce iron ore. And I put a crafting bench down here, just like the one in our hub, just so that I can make some steel manually. Here we go, steel ingot. Steel ingot takes iron ore, and it takes coal, so we have both of those easily available. Now, we need a new type of smelter, that being the foundry. And the foundry, it takes a few of these steel ingredients. It takes, if I look down here, encased industrial beams, which take steel beams. Steel beams come from steel ingots, etc. It also takes steel pipe, which comes from steel ingots as well. Once you've made a few of those manually, then you'll be able to put the foundry down. And the foundry then takes in 2 inputs. It takes, as you might expect, iron, and it also takes iron ore, that is, not iron ingots. It also takes coal. So because the coal power plant is going to extend towards me as it's facing me right now, I want to sort of send this stuff out this ways a little bit. And we're just going to do that so that I can bring the coal line here. I'm not going to need too much more expansion of that coal factory. I may end up with like, I don't know, 12 of them total eventually. So we'll have room here for them. So I don't need to worry about this too much, other than I want to make a chainsaw research at some point. So let's just bring them together sort of around here. We want to bring in 1 input from there. So let's build the foundry and turn it towards us. And let's get them lined up. That seems to be lined up to me. And if we put it there, will I have room to bring the coal into the other line? Yes, I will. Good. And we can fill this with a recipe of steel ingots. Okay, so this can take 45 a minute of iron ore and 45 minutes of coal, and it will produce 2 steel ingots at a time, but 30 a minute. So that's all perfectly fine on tier 1 belts. We don't need to do anything like that. However, it is going to be more than that single point can actually match. So we're going to want to basically merge in 2 and maybe even underclock these, because now that I've researched overclocking, we can also underclock to produce less than this per minute. 45 divided by 2 does not make a whole number. Unfortunately. Okay, so we're going to have to do a little bit of refinement on that. And there is another spot back here, so let's just get rid of this pure iron ore that's on top, because we can't unfortunately place our miner down until we get rid of that. That won't be very much effort to actually get rid of. Just another couple of, yeah, there we go. And it should be in a good place to actually, if we put the foundation down here. Unfortunately, this iron ore is just above this level of foundation, but I'm not going to worry about it. Can we place another foundation? We can. Yep, even though it's not going to be, it's not going to look particularly nice. That's fine. Mana Mark 1. We could put a Mana Mark 2 down. Interesting. That is actually more interesting. I wonder if that can... See, that says 120 resources per minute, so I wonder if on a single spot I could actually use that. It does take 12 megawatts versus 5. So let's actually... Well, I'm going to need to make a portable miner, aren't I? So I need to make an equipment workshop first of all. And let's put you right down next to this one. There we go. So I need to make that portable miner. Not enough space in inventory. Fine, let's make a box. Organization box. There we go. And let's just put down some leaves and some beacons and stuff. Shouldn't need those. And let's stay with the Miner Mark 1. It's a little bit more power efficient to have 2 of those versus 1 of the Miner Mark 2s. And we can just merge them. And there's no real big deal there. So production, Miner Mark 1. Excuse me, Miner Mark 1. Why won't you place? Missing iron rods. Okay. Iron rods is simple. And there you go. Alright, so you're locked in. And then we want to merge both of those two together. So split a merger. Logistics merger. Am I short on... Oh, still short on rods. This is going to become... sort of a major theme. We're going to probably want to improve our speed of production of rods fairly soon now. Let's just get, that's the output. And that will do. Put down another foundation. And let's bring our conveyor belt out to around about here, I want to say. Yep, that makes the corner nice and 90 degrees. Okay, and then we'll just feed that into you. There is a bush in the way, but that shouldn't stop things. And the same thing from over there. We're just going to get some more belt. And bring it to around here. Nope. Nope. Must be one further. There we go. There we go. So, iron and coal should now be coming in. I can probably dump in some coal to get it started. And it needs some power, but other than that, we are pretty much done. So let's just feed off some power this way for one. Iron rods. And we need power to that back miner as well, so I don't need to... I shouldn't forget about that. Let's just get some... Let's just convert all of these into rods. Okay. And then let's just hook up this miner to here. And this one to a power pole, I think. Oh, cable. Cable. There we go. Okay, this should work. Let's just get you roughly lined up. And off it goes. So that should now be producing, yep, steel ingots. And so I need to get the chainsaw, don't I? Yeah, I'm going to need to actually make it. But I need to research it first. But on the other side, we should start getting iron, steel ingots. Yes, we are. And then we need to think about what we need to basically make them into. So if we have a look at back here, we need... a few things. We need steel beams and we need steel pipes. Steel pipes then go into stators, so they are one of the components of motors. So we are going to need that being made. So we're going to need steel pipe at least, and steel beams. I'm not sure of whether we're going to need how much we're going to need by comparison. But let's look at motors. No, that's okay. So motors are rotors and stators. So I think what I'm going to do is not actually do any more construction over here. I think I'm going to send the steel ingots back from here to our factory. We're going to head around the end here and back over that hillside towards our factory. I'm back at the base. I did just get the improved melee combat research done, so we should be able to now basically craft this, the Xeno Basher. I just need to remove this from my hands so that we can use it. There we go, Xeno Basher. It's basically a longer version. It's basically a cattle prod, but it's almost like a sword kind of effect. So let's just grab that and let's just replace one with the other. Yeah, okay, interesting. It has a little keyring attached, and it's a lightsaber. I mean, yes, cattle prod sword. Yes. Okay, I quite like it. Anyway, getting on with other stuff with nothing else to actually make there, and I have more inventory space now. You get an extra 5 of each of those research things. So let's just set our next milestone, just so I don't forget to actually set one, and it appears at the top right. We could do the object scanner. That's actually going to be really quick, but we got to wait for the pod to come back. So we should get the chainsaw at some time soon, shouldn't we? That's going to really... Yeah, that's gonna make me happy. So why don't I just set that as the next thing, and let's put in some ingredient. Oh, I can't put ingredients. That's back. Let me just actually make some cable. Okay, so we're going to be bringing in the steel ingots from the other side of our world. Well, not the other side of the world, the other side of the hill. And I think I'm going to use the bottom floor for the steel stuff. It is just really, or has just been used for storage up until now. So let's just take a look so you can see. Here's got my equipment bench and the stairs, etc. here, but on this side there is nothing really at the moment. I'm putting in the walls around the outside. One thing the game could do with, devs, if you're listening, lights. When it gets dark here, it's actually really quite dark. So if I have a large floor down here, yeah, without leaving the roof open and not having multiple floors, it can get very dark. So yeah, we should think about having those. And I've just switched to 4-meter tall foundations by default now, instead of the 2-meter tall ones, just because they're the same cost at the moment, and I don't need to do floors. When I want to do floors, I'll probably use the 2-meter one, so we get a little bit of extra headroom. But other than that, we should be ready now to bring in our steel from elsewhere, and we should probably just bring it into the bottom of the factory. So maybe if we get it, can we get it around this rock? Maybe. Let's just try putting a pole down here. See if it'll actually come through this rock and then into this gate here for the moment. That should do. Can we actually get that through? Yes, we can. It's clipping a little bit, but yeah, I can just adjust that slightly. And now I just need to go and get that belt over here. So let's cut forwards until I've done that. And in comes our steel line. I've put it into an elevated track here just so I can get the tractor underneath it whenever I need to. I mean, to change that around so the tractor can get underneath there as well, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. And it's going to come down into the factory here. We're going to want to do some other reorganization too, mainly on that end of the factory over there. The concrete box is just behind that, but we're going to need concrete more and more. There is, however, a good couple of spots of limestone just over there, I think. Yeah, so right over there we've got some more limestone, I think. I need to go and check, but they look like it. And we'll use those if that's... Let me just double check that now, because otherwise I'm going to have to run further for limestone. Are you limestone or are you iron? Let's just double check. You look to be limestone. You're impure, however, but there is 2 spots, I think. Although they may be overlapping, so we may only get 1 out of them. Anyway, that doubles our supply of limestone. The rest of it comes from over there, and then we'll get some other spots, I'm sure, because they're going to be needed for some of the stuff that we're going to make. So let's first of all recap. We're going to want 2 more things for the next space elevator. One is automatic modular frames. So for those we need reinforced iron plates and we need rods. Both of those we're actually producing in the factory at the moment. The other thing we're going to need is motors, and the motors, we're already producing the rotors, but we're not producing the stators. So we need stators more than anything else. So let's just look at stators. Stators need wire, which we're already making, and they're going to need steel pipe, which we now need to make. Steel pipe, working backwards, comes from steel ingots. So, should we just make steel pipes into stators, I think? Yeah. So, steel pipes are going to be on the bottom level, at least. And then maybe we bring down wire? Not sure yet. Let's start off with the steel pipes and the starter factory. The starter is going to be in an assembler. The steel pipes can be in a regular constructor. So down here it is getting a little bit darker, but should still be fine. Let's sort of, we're going to be combining them over this side of the factory, so we probably should think about having sort of our machines over here. Above us right now is the wire, so we will be hooking into that later. And there's our input, so we'll leave some room on our input, so maybe around about here, something like that. We want the production, we want a constructor, and let's just line it up there. I'm going to need to also bring some power into here as well. Is that the way I want it? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, and we'll figure out the ratios later, but the constructor can then go into an assembler, and you are missing modular frames, so I need to make some of those myself. In the meantime then, let's just bring our belt from over there all the way over here. And that's too long. It needs at least one pole. And let's bring it all the way in front of this, round about there. There we go. And let's just tell this for now to build steel pipes. You can take 15-minute steel ingots, and you can produce 15-minute steel pipes, so they shouldn't buffer other than back up the actual conveyor belt itself. So steel pipes will come out at 15 minutes, and then we can then send those into an assembler, and probably need to build another lift of some kind to bring down a wire if I want the production down here, and I think I do. So I will go and figure that out. Let me just make a few of those modular frames to build the assembler, and I'll come back to you shortly. And here we go. We've got our completed constructor making lots of iron pipe, steel pipe even, and we've got our sort of conveyor coming from outside, just temporarily. I can neaten this up later, but basically bringing us 60 wire a minute. And there that goes into here, and this is making status for us, so we can make status now. What we need from status outward, however, is motors, and motors, we've pretty much got all the subcomponents we need to make everything for the space elevator tier 5 and 6. That being, we have status, we have rotors upstairs, we also have reinforced iron upstairs, and what's the other ingredient for reinforced, is it rods? I think it is rods, you know. Let's have a look. Reinforced, not reinforced, modular frames. Yeah, it is rods. So we have that as well, essentially, although we probably should think about an extra sort of line just producing rods, because they are, we're really short of them, put it that way. You can see, oh, in fact, hang on, they're building back because, we're short of screws, and the screw production line is only so fast, so these are building up behind it. Still, if I take off, and let's say I'm going to put another splitter here, yeah, I don't quite like that idea. I think I actually want another line purely for rods, and then we'll combine stuff. So we have everything we need now. We need to take the output of these boxes and then combine them. So I'm going to want an extra rod line sort of around about here, I think. And then it's a shame these two are the wrong way around. I could switch them around, I guess, but it's fine. We can go above and below, etc. So this one has got all the stators in it. Sorry, rotors. We take this downstairs. So I sort of would like some kind of seamless way of going through floors without just removing a piece of foundation, which is going to look ugly. I'd like something like gates, you know, like that over there, like doors, but that I can feed stuff to without actually feeding it around the outside of the factory. Because the outside of the factory is quite straightforward. We can create, let's see, all these different wall options and feed it that way. Just nothing with the foundations yet, at least nothing that I've seen. You guys can obviously correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, and there's obviously walkways I've now researched as well, so I'm going to put those into the factory in between the episodes, I think. So for the time being, now all I'm going to do is route downstairs the rotors, and up here we're going to make the modular frames. So from this box, we're going to want to combine with rods, essentially, into a new assembler. So just like these, but up here. So let me just go and put those down. Okay, so for our rod section, we're going to create the second Miner Mark 1. I'm probably going to upgrade these to Miner Mark 2s fairly soon, but for the moment, Miner Mark 1 should be fine. And I'm going to then just craft a splitter, logistics splitter, and we're going to split this direction just on line with these, roughly about halfway there, should be fine. So we're going to get our new section of iron ore coming out this way, and we're going to get it to roughly here. Yeah, that should do. Yeah. One thing I wouldn't mind if the developers are indeed listening is there's a few sort of shortcomings when you're trying to align things. You see, when you align something like this, you can align it freeform wherever you like. However, and slightly annoyingly, when it's freeform, you can't align it with the snap to grid stuff, I don't think. Let me just try. Can I actually do that? Splitter. Let's just try and align it. So here, if we want it in line with this, for instance, we can hold down Control. But holding down left Control doesn't snap it to the guideline here. It snaps it to, well, it snaps it to the guideline, but it doesn't let me then align it along these little sort of movements that I normally would here. See where I can move this? I want to be able to basically do both of those sort of in one and make sure all buildings are on that grid, just so that the belts will be exactly 90 degrees. I know it's a little bit sort of OCD or you know, very detail oriented, whatever you want to call it, but yeah, it's sort of a nice thing I'd like. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but yeah, we just need to then merge things afterwards, so let's just get that feeding this way. We could feed it another way, etc. But yeah, the other thing, well, you can do it this way. If you then align things manually like this, that does work. So yeah, I guess you can do it that way. Let's get that going. So you can go into there. It just means you never really snap to the alignment. You always have to align things manually. It's a bit of a shame, but will work. So I've now put in a second belt, and you'll see now why I had these sort of 4 sections. So there is actually 2 belts here. You can see it's only going currently every odd belt, because the second belt is actually right there that we have to feed into, or at least I'm going to feed into. So let's just bring you around this way, and that's actually one too far. Let's just do that. So it's 90 degrees. Okay, that'll do. And then we'll bring it over here, and then we can get it into the right place, hopefully. A little bit of a bug there. Floor is too steep. It's not too steep. It's on a foundation. Not sure why that happens, but there we go. And we've got a new belt of iron ore at full speed from our Miner Mark 1, and that should go up into our factory. So let's go and have a look into the factory itself, and I'll show you what I've done up there, because we've also changed some stuff. And I'm probably going to research jump pads next, just so that I can, you know, vault myself over this wall. We need an elevator or a lift of some kind. So on the top side, I've created an elevated section for this iron ingots that should be coming up soon. You can see there's our belt. And interestingly, when you're on this thing, just again another slight bug or maybe an intended feature, you actually move faster than the products do. It's very odd that the player moves faster than the stuff that's on the same belt. However, yeah, I guess that's a bit of an exploit later when we get to jetpacks, but we're going to come back to that later. So this iron ingots are going to come in here, get split among 2 different iron rods, because this is going to be dedicated to iron rods. This is going to be 2 different constructors. There we go. And they can handle input of 15 a minute. So 2 of them, we could get up to 4 of them really, but then I'd have to split it again. I'm running out of a little bit of space here a little bit. I suppose I could put something over here, but for the moment this will do fine. And then on the other back side of this, we've got an assembler. The assembler can take 24 iron rods a minute. That's why I'm not too concerned about you know, putting more of these in, because we'd need a second assembler to really use it until we get to overclocking and underclocking, etc. and stuff like that. So this is going to then take our reinforced iron plate from our other side of the factory, and I'm going to produce modular frames along with these iron rods just as soon as the iron gets here. It shouldn't take too much longer, I would have thought. Yeah, there it's coming. And then on the back side of this, we are going to get modular frames. So all that I've done on this side of things for the rotors is just send it downstairs. This is why I'd like a nice little gate of some kind that we can get through here. And then out of the bottom of that comes a belt, which is going to head all the way over to our space elevator. I've moved again. And there it is. And that's got our motors heading to it. However, you're going to need 500 motors. 500. Yeah. That might take a little bit of time. So we have to get on with other stuff in our factory while that's happening. So from the output of this then, we're going to send this over to our space elevator as well. So why don't we just take a belt and we'll just go off the edge here. It's getting close to the poisonous stuff. So let's just get that there and we'll just go sideways. There. And let's head down to the ground. Let's see if we can get this just in a regular ramp. Come on, you gotta go somewhere. Yeah, okay, that's fine. For now, at least. And then let's just get this in parallel, roughly. Okay, and over to here. Can't afford? Oh, I'm really out of iron. I'm out of iron. Oh, never mind. Let me go get some more iron. You'll see the motors are coming along here, just not very fast. And what are we short on? We're definitely not going to be short on wire, that much is for certain. It's just going to be, is it the status? 6 per minute, so once every 10 seconds? Yeah, that's probably going to be this shortage. What are we short of here? Rotors. So maybe I need to go and get some more rotors being produced as well. So we'll have to scale up the factory upstairs as well as down and figure out. Anyway, I need more iron ingots, which are upstairs. I'm going to go grab the iron ingots, iron plates. I'll grab those and let's finish off the build. I thought it was 500 motors. No, it's 500 modular frames. The motors are only 150, so we're halfway there on the motors anyway. So yeah, this is to unlock tier 5 and 6, of course, so modular frames are going to be, well, a little bit troublesome, I imagine. Let's just get up here. You can sort of run along the edges of belts, so that gets things going. And is this now running? Are you waiting for stuff? Just waiting for iron rods, and hopefully you should have made it by now. Yeah. Have we just got out of power? No power, that's why. So, where's our power line? Let's just put a power connector right about here. Hopefully. Ah, missing iron rod, really. Well, I do actually have iron rods around here, so that I can just grab. There we go. Now I'm not missing iron rods. And let's just put that in. And about here should do. Connect you up to you and that one. And that should all start up. Good. So we're pretty much done there. We've got the entire steel production chain. We are making steel, what are they called? Let's just grab a crafting bench. I'm going to put these everywhere, I think, probably by the time I'm finished. Let's just put that one there. We are missing steel beams. We don't need those just yet, but that goes into encased industrial beams, which is going to need concrete to be fed into it. So that's going to be downstairs, I think. We're going to get concrete from over there on the left-hand side, and over the other side of the factory where I showed you already, to make encased industrial beams for whatever we need them for. Presumably they're needed for this, yes. Heavy modular frames. Heavy modular frames need the encased industrial beams. It needs the steel pipe, which we've already got. The modular frames, which you've already got. And screws, which we could never produce enough of, it seems. So yeah, we don't have the research we need for that yet, but there's plenty of other research projects to be getting on with in the meantime. So I hope you enjoyed that episode. We have got steel sort of where we need to now, and then I think we're going to be teching up probably next episode. So moving to Mark II stuff, looking at overclocking, underclocking, and everything else, just to balance things out a little bit. And of course, probably expanding the power needed to actually do that. Can I actually get some of this actual stuff in there? Yeah, I'm going to need more rods, cable, and other bits and pieces. Yeah, there's some of it. This will just get me a chainsaw. And then I think we're through most of the research. Well, yeah, most of the milestones at least. Tier 1 is just object stuff. Tier 2, I want jump pads. That's all the same kind of stuff. So I'm going to research these between the episodes. I'm not going to show them on camera. And logistics Mark 3 gets us the storage container Mark 2, but that needs motors. But I'm going to wait until I can unlock tier 5 and 6 before I do that. So hopefully the start of next episode will be tier 5 and 6. If not, then we'll get on with some other stuff like teching and overclocking. And I hope I'll see you there for that. So yeah, if you've enjoyed the episode, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe, share as you normally would. Click on the bell if you want notifications, but more importantly than everything, leave comments for your fellow players and improve their game with your comments. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.